Okay, great. So when we're talking about precision agriculture, we're talking about management strategy. We're talking about data acquiring, data analysis, developing decision support system, and based on that, to see the efficiency of the application that we develop. And basically, what we're focusing in our institute is developing a different approach for site-specific management and for improving agriculture aspects. I will focus on several themes. I will show you several developments based on spectroscopy, soil spectroscopy. So this is one example of the work that we did, collaboration work with different researchers from the Agriculture Research Organization. In here, we use a highly accurate system of lysimeters. In this case, the plantation was almond, with different level of fertilization. And based on spectroscopy, we developed a way to evaluate non-structural carbohydrates, mainly starch and soluble carbohydrates. The main idea is that based on the spectral signature, we can identify the sugar allocation in different plant tissue. And in here you can see the spectral signature of different plants. And basically, when we're focusing mainly on the SWIR region, we can relate to different chemical absorption, mainly related to sugar, lignin, and cellulose. So in here, what we did is we applied spectroscopy on different plant tissues, leaf, branches, and roots. And we developed a spectral application that enable us to predict the different level of starch and carbohydrates. In addition, we had the ability to distinguish between the different plant tissues, and we had the ability to distinguish between different levels of fertilization. So basically, once we have a better indicator, because those days using spectroscopy for NPK analysis is sometimes working poorly due to the low concentration of NPK in the leaves. Here, by using the link between physiology status and sugar allocation, we had the ability to monitor different levels of nitrogen input. In the larger scale, we're developing also models for site-specific nitrogen management. This is an example of citrus culture. In here, we're working with multispectral imagery. The main idea is to improve the net use efficiency, nitrogen use efficiency in the orchard, and to develop site-specific management. And the way for applying that is by using different drone applications. On the specific drone, we have several cameras. We've got a thermal camera, we've got a multispectral camera, and we've got a high-resolution RGB camera. And we're developing a special scale model that's based on a field sampling of the leaves, nutrients, and leaves, and developing a machine learning application for predicting nitrogen levels. In addition, what we did is we applied several clustering approach, and those clustering approach enable us to develop site-specific management with a very high accuracy that related to different patterns, different forms of the different patterns we found in the field. Those related to the crop water stress index, as Victor mentioned previously, it's related to temperature, stress condition on the leaves, additional nitrogen prediction, and additional topographical aspect and crown structure. All of those go into the clustering model. The clustering model is based on different approach. We tried different clustering approach, and we found that the best clustering approach include the Z-score statistic, include fuzzy k-mean with hierarchical k-mean, which applied before with a PTA weight to weight the different importance of the different variables. So basically, at the end, what we've got is we've got a platform for site-specific management approach, where we can develop a more accurate fertilization approach to improve the net use efficiency in active orchards. The next thing that I will present is related to soil spectroscopy. When we're talking about soil spectroscopy, it's not just on one specific parameter. It's on an integrated approach that's related to soil quality approach. Soil quality related to the capacity of a specific soil to function within natural and managed ecosystem. And basically, we're integrating biological, chemical, and physical properties of the soil and trying to predict their concentration in the soil based on spectroscopy analysis. There are different approaches of developing soil quality assessment. One of the examples is the Cornell Soil Health Test Assessment, which based on selecting a specific indicator, which related to physical, biological, and chemical indicator, and an overall assessment of the soil quality. This is a labor-intensive, very high cost, and by using spectroscopy, we basically can reduce the cost of those analyses and give a much higher accuracy model on the soil and soil quality. So basically, when we're looking on the spectral signature of the soil, we can see that we've got a specific absorption feature that are affecting, that could be related to water absorption feature, soil organic matter, and additional parameters. And based on spectroscopy analysis, we developed a model that shows the high correlation between the spectroscopy analysis and between the different chemical analysis that we applied on the soil. And the interesting part is basically to develop the soil quality index or soil quality analysis. So the way to develop soil quality index is usually taking all the entire indicator that we selected, the physical, biological, and chemical indicator, integrate them into one model based on scoring function, and then develop the soil quality index analysis. However, what we found is that based on spectroscopy, we had the ability to evaluate in a very accurate way the overall soil quality index in the soil. The next step is to upscale the information, and here we're using imaging spectroscopy integrated with the accurate soil analysis with an accurate GPS location. And based on the hyperspectral data, we've been able to develop different maps for the different properties of the soil quality analysis and developing an overall soil quality assessment map, which of course is very important for the management of those agricultural systems. Thank you, and if you've got questions, I will be more than happy to answer.